Hi, my name is Norman, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel, His Nibs. Here we take a look at the world of writing instruments, most especially fountain pens. Please feel free to add any comments below, and if you enjoy what you see, I'd love for you to like and share the video, and click on the bell icon as well to be notified of new ones as they come out. Now, let's get started.
Greetings, everybody. Norman from His Nibs here, and this is just a brief introduction to a video that has taken months to bring together as I have been waiting for the number 6 size stub nib from Asvine. As you'll recall, I introduced the number 8 size several months ago in the C2000 pen. And Britnum and I have continued to work back and forth around the world on the number 6 nib, and they have finally arrived. Just wanted to announce that with this introduction, and you'll see the rest of the video about the stubs. Here's a look at one in the gold tone color, and I'll have close-ups further on in the video, and one in the silver tones. So that didn't show you much, but you will see more if you choose to watch further. So I'm excited that they're here, and hope you will be excited that they're here too. Wonderful writers, and Asvine has really gotten this down, and we worked for months and months actually to go back and forth with nib prototypes, and I'm very happy with what's been produced. So stay tuned, please. Okay, before I really talk about these pens with the number 6 stub nibs, I just wanted to do a real brief filling of the pens, and we'll get into more detail later. So the first pen I'm going to use Levenger Cocoa, and that's the Asvine 126. And this is the brown swirl transparent. And this is a finish that I requested from Britain to send me, and he was kind enough to do so. So brown swirl and cocoa ink would seem to have some commonality. Okay. And this is a vac filler. So we just release the vac and pull up the tube, place in the ink. Hopefully I can get a little of the fill here visible. Boom, and there we go. Now normally these will take probably 2 to 3 plunges to get a full fill, but this is good enough for writing with in the next couple of days before I do a full review of these stub nibs. And there you can see the marking 1.1 millimeter for stub. And this lovely sloshing ink in the Asvine V126 brown swirl transparent. Put that aside. Cap the ink. Got a little brown on me. Boy, this cap is dusty. Many things in my life are dusty. And second, we're going to use an old bottle of Monteverde green, which have been in a series of leaking Monteverde bottles. And so it's only like half full. This is from years ago. Just uncapped it, just decanted it for the very first time. And Britnam was kind enough to send me another pen, surprise pen, and this is the P20, and this is green marble, which is not a color finish that I had previously had in my collection, but I'm glad I am now. It's kind of a green cracked ice finish, really stunning. So this is a piston filler, as many of you may know. This is an early and very, very popular model for Asvine. So it's nice size ink window, as you can see. We'll turn down the piston. Insert in the Monteverde ink. Turn up the piston. And I don't think it got any ink because the ink bottle was so low. So let's try that again and angle the bottle and fully submerge the nib and feed. There, and I can see through the bottle that we're getting ink now. Yep, you can see the ink window. Empty. And ink sloshing down. Again, you would normally, oh boy, probably should have wiped this before I did anything else. Normally, as with most piston fills or vac fills, you do 2 or 3 fills to get a full ink fill in the pen. And there is that 1.1 millimeter stub. So I'll have 2 to compare and see how the production run is going. And let me just switch this. There we go. Haven't done that with this camera for a while. More of a close-up of the nib. And you can see its stubness at the end of the nib. All right, more later after I've written with this for a few days. Written with these for a few days. As I just block the microphone with my hand. As I write with these for a few days, is what I just said. See you later. Asvine stubs. I have this on extreme close-up. So let's see. So back at the beginning of this year, 2025, I was the first to introduce the C2000 model Asvine pen, which sported the first stub from Asvine, the first number 8 size nib, and the first, if I can open it, cartridge converter model. Typical cartridge converter. And this was as a result, this nib was a result of going back and forth with Asvine and Britnam Lee, the principal of Asvine, for quite a few months, if not years, actually. I first suggested to him shortly after Asvine started producing pens that a stub would be a great addition. So we went back and forth over months. He would send me first attempts at stub nibs. This one I've stuck into a Jinhao 9016, and this was a number 6 size. And as you can see, there's no imprints, no identification as being an Asvine nib, but this is just for my testing and feedback to him. And I was very pleased with this this first attempt at a stub, and this was before the release of the number 8 1.1 millimeter stub that I just showed you. Well, I just got a couple new pens from Britnam, which I showed in the last scene, and these pens are now as filled as I need them to be. I have so many pens I use, I rarely fill a pen anymore. So this is a close-up of the 1.1 millimeter number 6 size Asvine stub with the branding and so forth. Very attractive nib. These two that he sent me are all silver. I'm sure he will do silver and gold once we finalize this. And here's the one on the other pen. Looks identical. So I just wanted to give some quick feedback. I said that after I fill these, I'd write with them for a few days. Well, I wasn't really able to write with them. And let me see if I can go back. And I'm trying to, there we go. Okay. In both cases, the nibs were basically unwritable. Not because of smoothness or line variation, which in both cases were terrific, but due to ink flow. The tines were basically, on both nibs, the tines were touching at the end of the nib. The slits were closed at the very end. There was no ink flow. So I did quite a bit of testing of these, and I also made adjustments to both of them. And now they are writing terrifically. Let me see if I can prove that. And it's because of I had to make those adjustments. And so I communicated with Britnam, gave him feedback that he was seeking and what I was experiencing. and alterations will be made on the factory factory side to make sure that that doesn't occur with any production nibs. So I don't know when those new stub production nibs will be available, but they will be functioning properly because of the feedback that I gave him. And here we go with the C2000, also a 1.1 stub, but on a number 8 size nib. So again, I should show that in comparison, I think, size-wise, although by now everybody's familiar with the difference in size between a number 6 and a number 8. And the number 8 stub, which is in production, is all gold toned. So I will do another scene at some point when he's ready to release the number 6 stubs, and we'll take it from there. As far as adjusting these nibs, on one I used a brass shim, which is not my usual way of adjusting the ink flow or widening the channel, but I had some in front of me, so I gave that a shot. Didn't work too well. I finally went back to my tried and true nib adjustment method, which I've been using for decades and has served me very well, which is called my left thumbnail. And it has worked for me through thousands and thousands of nib adjustments over the years. I'm trying to see if I have a pen here that doesn't have ink in it, so I don't get ink all over my hands. Not that it really matters. Let's see, I think this Monteverdi Invincia Rose Gold Deluxe is without ink at the moment. And this has a wonderful stub nib. Again, I was instrumental in years past in getting IAFA, the parent company of Monteverdi and Conklin, to come out with a stub nib. And that took a couple years of my effort as well. Yair Jerry Greenberg, who was the head of IAFA, was totally unfamiliar with stub nibs when I broached the subject with him. So I had to share a lot of the stub nibs I had and let them test and see what was what. Anyway, this may not show that well because it's a black nib. Let me find something else. Okay, here we got a little Pelican M200. And basically what it is if you want to increase ink flow, you use your thumbnail to either press up equally on both tines. That's the usual way to increase ink flow. If you have a scratchy nib because one tine is... Let me see if I can adjust this camera one more time. Okay, there we go. Maybe. Okay. These tines happen to be perfectly adjusted, so they're even. But if you have one tine that is slightly higher than the other, and hence producing scratchiness, the thumbnail method is to, let's say it's from your perspective, the tine on the left that is higher. I would go to the tine on the right, use a thumbnail to press up, as you can see, until they both align perfectly, as they have done now. And constantly checking this with a loop. And to decreasing flow, basically folding one or pushing one tine beneath the other, and then doing the other side again until they align. I don't really want to push this because this is perfect as it is, but that's the idea. So this left thumbnail, I always keep the nail a little bit longer because it's my primary adjustment tool. So that's that. Well, I have this on macro. This is Germany, Pelican, and let's take a look at the nib. And this was recently inked, hence the not pristine ink, not pristine nib, but a little bit of ink at the bottom. Anyway, before I ramble on too much longer, let me end this. And just because I have it here, one more beautiful nib, of course, is the Mont Blanc 149. And this was the 75th anniversary version of that nib, with the cap band, also the, 75th anniversary. And this one has a little diamond somewhere. There we go. Anyway, I will continue this later. Bye. Okay, the day has finally arrived. It's been a long process, many, many months. So, just a brief recap. With the stub nibs, we started with the Asvine C2000. This was the wooden version, and the first C standing for cartridge converter, the first real cartridge converter. And the first stub nib, which is a number 8 size. This one in gold color. And then we came out with, I say we, because Britnum of Asvine and I have worked on this together a bit across the world, with the C80, again with the number 8 size, in this case stub nib, 1.1. Let me get a little closer on this. Then I showed you a couple of the unmarked stub nibs that went back and forth for testing. And then have here a P20, which Asvine sent me, with the first iteration of the 1.1 stub. Beautiful looking nib. Followed in the same package, actually, with this one in a V126 vac filler. And if you'll recall, and if I recall from a previous scene, I talked about the fact that these didn't write when they first came to me because the tines, there was not sufficient tine separation in the nibs, and I adjusted that and they worked fine. But I let Britnum know that that's something that needed to be done in the factory. And here are a couple of the new ones he sent me, which are perfect. This one is in another V126, the all clear version. See the same design as the previous two non-writing nibs. I don't know if I can really get a close-up to show, because I'm not going to do another writing sample with these nibs because they've been perfect. But if you look at this with a loop, and I don't think I'm really going to be able to show with this lighting, but you'll see the nib, or you would see the nib slit widened a bit towards the tip, and the ink flow is not a problem at all. And I wanted to also show this other V126 just because, well, there was a glitch in the camera there. I'm not sure if that will show in the video. It stopped, the imaging stopped for a second. Anyway, I wanted to show this one because of, now we have the gold colored 1.1 stub, which looks absolutely fantastic. So, as I am recording this on August, I don't know, 21st, something like that, the stubs are now available on Amazon. So I will link below to all of these pens that we've gone over in this video that has taken months to bring together from start to finish. And I don't want to go in, I want to go out. There we go. Wow, what a colorful bunch of pens. So I'm happy. The stubs are here in both the number 6 size now and starting off with the number 8 size. So those of us who are primarily stub writers, as I am, are in hog heaven. I don't know where that term came from. I'll have to look that up afterwards. I didn't prepare my research notes on hog heaven prior to recording this video, and this is the point where I know it needs to come to an end because I'm rambling on inanely. So I hope you guys are as happy as I am. And again, there'll be links in the description to the pens themselves, so you can get hold of your own stubbed nib Asvine pens in both number 6 size and number 8 size. So see you soon.